Welcome to today's practice. So a little bit more of an energising practice today, focusing on the hips. So probably moving through a little bit of pigeon and just seeing where else we may end up. So we're going to start lying down in our eye of the needle. So if you lie back down on your mat and take your right foot onto your left thigh, and depending on how you're feeling, you can stay here, or if it feels okay, just start to draw the left leg in towards you. If you want to just close the eyes for a few moments, you can do. Just starting to draw your awareness through to your breath. And to come into your body. So we spend a lot of our time externally focused. So noticing what's going on around us, but not necessarily paying too much attention to what's going on inside. So just starting to change that now. Drawing your awareness into your body. Maybe just softening the shoulders down, relaxing the muscles of your face. Becoming aware of the movement of your breath. We're not going to be here too long, just a few more rounds of breath. You've got the option, if you wish to straighten your left leg up towards the ceiling. Might press up through the sole of the foot. Just starting to get into the back of the leg a little bit. One more breath. And then bend your left knee, take your left foot back down onto your mat, take your right foot back down. We'll do the other side. Left foot, right thigh. Again, option to stay there. Or just start to draw the right leg in towards you. Take the hands around the back of the thigh. Just a few breaths. Take some time to notice how your mind is. Is it whizzing around all over the place? What's your energy like? Is it high? Is it low? Is there kind of a nervous energy that you need to get rid of? Is it really hard to get yourself moving? You feel quite lethargic, so just notice. Last couple of breaths, you might want to straighten the right leg up. Press out through the sole of the foot. Try and keep your hips down on the mat, so we're not lifting the hips away from the mat. Gentle breath in and out through the nose, Ujjayi if you wish. And then just bend your right knee, take your right foot back down onto the mat and your left foot. Have your feet towards mat width wide. And keep the knees wide as well. We're just going to gently windscreen wipe the knees from side to side. Just start to bring some movement into the body. You can T-shape the arms out. You might just keep the knees dropped over to the right for a couple of breaths next time you come there. Inhale your way back to centre, exhale it over to your left. Again, just a couple of breaths. Keep the shoulders nice and soft, dropping down towards the mat. Relax through the face. And then inhale, come back through to centre, bring the knees in towards the chest, a little rock from side to side. And then a little rock backwards and forwards, up along the spine. One more time. Bring yourself through to upright. And then from there, come over onto all fours. So just take a few rounds of happy cat, angry cat. Dropping the belly down towards the mat as you inhale, lift the chin and the tailbone. And then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone, spine rounds, chin comes in towards the chest. Inhale, lift the chin. The movement draws back down the spine to the tailbone, and then tuck the tailbone as the spine waves forwards, chin to chest. Couple more of these. Okay, come back through to a flat back. Tuck your toes underneath and walk your hands in towards you. Now, if you find this is too heavy on the toes, you can always keep your hands down on the mat. If you're comfortable too, maybe lifting up the hands. And we're going to clasp the hands and just start to circle through the wrists. Take it both directions. Maybe just shake out the wrists. Shrug the shoulders a couple of times, backwards, and then forwards. And then bring yourself back over onto all fours. And we'll keep the toes tucked and just lift up the knees for downwards facing dog. And then just finding whatever movement here feels good for you. So you might have a couple of breaths with one leg straight, one bent. And you swap it over. You might do something a little bit more rapid, more of a kind of a padding of the feet. Or you might just choose to work in stillness. So you might keep the knees bent if you're tight in the hamstrings. If you feel okay, you can straighten the legs. Okay, and then use your next inhale to step your right foot forward between your hands and drop down onto your left knee. Untuck the left toes and just have a bit of movement here. Inhale, draw the heart forwards. Exhale, take the hips back. Inhale to draw the heart forwards. Exhale, take it back. Couple more. Okay, the next time you bring it forwards, we'll stay there. Plant the hands, step it back, down dog. And then we'll work with the other side. So your next inhale, step your left foot forward between your hands, drop down onto your right knee. Same thing, untuck the right toes, heart forwards as you inhale, exhale to take it back. Inhale to draw it forwards. Exhale to take it back. Couple more. Squeeze the movement, starting to get to the hips, into the hamstring. Okay, inhale, come forwards, plant the hands. This time step back through to plant the toes. Press the ground away from you. Engage to the core, so you're not dropping the belly down and lifting the tailbone. Core is engaged. Couple of breaths. You might be able to bring the left hand to the right shoulder and then swap it over. And you might have a few movements like that. Maybe taking the feet a little bit wider. And then try and stay really strong through the pelvis and stable. So there's not too much movement going on through the pelvis as you do this. A couple more times. If it's too much, just drop your knees down onto the mat. Okay, bring the feet back to hip width, and then nice and slowly we're going to lower all the way down onto the mat. Untuck your toes, hands out wide, tented fingers or palms flat. Inhale, find that wave of your spine up to cobra, and exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, wave it up. Exhale, back down. Couple more. Bring it back down, hands under the shoulders. Let's find our way into child's pose. You can have the knees wide, or you can bring the knees together for a more supported child. A couple of breaths here. breath in and out through the nose. Fully in your body. And then inhale up onto all fours. Let's find our way back into downwards facing dog. And then use your next inhale, float the right leg up towards the ceiling, bend your right knee, stack your right hip on top of the left. Just square off the shoulders as much as you can. Draw down through the left heel. You might just find a little bit of circling through the right ankle, both directions. And I'm going to square off the hips. Bring the thigh through towards the chest. So you're in a high plank, drawing the right leg in towards you. And I'm gently going to step the right foot through between the hands. Inhale the arms up for your high lunge. Couple of breaths, just lifting up through the heart. Just getting into your body just as much as feels comfortable for you. So find a place, find your sweet spot. You want to add on, you can find the diagonal. So you can take the arms down alongside the torso as the heart reaches forwards, crown of the head reaches forwards. And then drop your left hand to the floor, draw down through the hips, take the right arm up towards the ceiling. Press up through the left thigh, you don't have to look up, although you can do. Reach back out through your left heel. And then bring the right hand down, step it back through into plank. Now your choice, you can go straight to down dog or you can move through chaturanga. Upwards facing dog, perhaps cobra. Downwards facing dog. Taking a breath here. And then inhale, float the left leg up, bend the knee, stack your left hip on top of your right. Square off the shoulders as much as you can. Maybe find a little bit of movement through the left foot. It's getting into the ankle joint. Take it both directions. And then square off your hips. Bring your left thigh in towards your chest as you come through to high plank. Press the ground away from you. So engaging through the core, keeping this really active. And then step your left foot forwards, come up for your high lunge. Looking up will challenge your balance. If you're feeling wobbly, then I would not look up. Lift up through the heart. There is the, proper wobbly. There is the option to find the diagonal. So you might take the arms along the side of the body. Keep the chest open. One more breath. Drop your right hand to the floor. Left arm reaches up, finding your twist. So you're drawing the left hip down, extending the crown of the head forwards. Okay, bring the left hand down, step back into plank. So we're going to put in a couple of push-ups. Feel free to drop the knees down to the mat if you wish. So exhale, chaturanga. Inhale back up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale back up. And then we'll move through our vinyasa. So exhale, chaturanga. Inhale through your back bend. Perhaps just linger there a moment. And then exhale. Downwards facing dog. Now just seeing how this feels. You can choose to stay here. You might just soften your knees, bring your right foot onto your left thigh. Find that eye of the needle in downwards facing dog. So hips lengthen up and back behind you.
Left heel draws down. If it's not comfortable, feel free to miss it out. It's really, you really need to listen to your body. Right foot back down onto the mat. Let's do the other side. Left foot, right thigh. Your gaze on one spot, your drishti. And then take your left foot back down onto your mat. One more breath here. I'm going to soften the knees, step, jump, float the feet forward between the hands, find your halfway lift. And then as you exhale, fold in. So spend a few breaths here in your forward bend. A little bit of weight into the front of the feet. You can always just lift the hands. You might just find again that it's circling through the wrists. Take one more breath. And then inhale, look up, halfway lift. We're going to heel toe the feet together. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up for Vinyasa. Coming through into your chair pose. Dropping your weight into your heels. And then use your inhale to bring the weight forwards into the balls of the feet. Lift the heels away from the mat. Squeeze in towards the midline of the legs. And then as you exhale, go nice and slowly come all the way down onto the mat. And find our way into Navasana. Soften the shoulders, lift up through the heart. You might exhale it back, half boat. Try and keep the tips of the shoulder blades up away from the mat. Inhale, come back up, Vinyasa. And then bend your knees, bring your hands down. You can go straight to down dog, or you can just jump straight back, chaturanga. Upwards facing dog. Stretch out the tummy muscles, hips up and back, downwards facing dog. Inhale, float the right leg up. As you behind you, as you exhale, step the right foot through between the hands. Let's ground the left foot. Virabhadrasana 2 as you inhale. And then really ground through the feet. Can you hear that outside? That's rain. Proper pouring down out there. So ground through your feet. Soften your shoulders. Take your gaze to your right middle finger. Drop your left hand to your left thigh, flip your right palm, find your reverse warrior. So really lengthening, creating space through the right side ribs and waist. And then come back through Virabhadrasana 2, and we'll find Parsvakonasana. So option 1 is resting your right forearm on your right thigh. If you're able to, we'll bind. So you're wrapping your right arm underneath your right leg, holding onto your left wrist or your left fingers. And we're going to bring this up into a balance. So gaze down, left foot steps forward, weight into the left leg, inhale, right leg lifts up. You can stay there if it feels okay, you can straighten out the right leg. We're going to step it back into Parsvakonasana, so right foot comes back down, left foot steps back behind you. And then from there, we'll release the hands down, step it back through to plank. You can move through your Vinyasa, or you can go straight to downwards facing dog. Taking a breath in down dog. And then inhale, left leg floats up. And as you exhale, gently step the left foot through between the hands, round your right foot. Virabhadrasana 2 as you inhale.
Couple of breaths, strongly grounding through the legs, through the feet, broadening the feet. And that bend in the left knee. And then find your reverse warrior, dropping your right hand, flipping your left palm, left arm reaches up. And then coming back through Galavasana 2, and either left forearm to the thigh, you can just hang out there, or finding the bind. Spinning open through the right shoulder. And then we'll move through into that balance. So you inhale and step the right foot forwards. Weight onto the right leg. Inhale, left leg. If you can, straightening out the left leg. One more breath. Bend the left knee, step it back, Vinyasa, and then release the hands to frame your left foot, step it back through to plank. So we're going to come through to a side plank, right hand to the centre of your mat, roll onto the little toe side of your right foot, take your left arm up towards the ceiling. Feel free to drop the right knee down onto the mat if you need to. Lift up through the hips. So we're going to step the left foot forwards to the front edge of the mat. So you could bend the left knee, hold on to the left big toe, the peace fingers of the left hand, maybe straighten that left leg. And then nice and slowly, turn to face the front edge of your mat, probably a bit more slower than that if you can, so that you're in your lunge at the front edge of your mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. And take this into a twist, split your arms to a T, and then twist to your left. Keep the shoulders relaxed, maybe you can drop the left hand to the back of the right thigh, take the right arm up. We'll come out the way we went in, so back hands to a T, into the twist, and then bring it forward, back into your high lunge. And then as you exhale, slowly bring your right knee back down onto your mat. Coming through into Vinyasa. So squeeze in the inner thighs, bring the hips forward. Just keep the shoulders nice and soft here. So the hips are working. We've got that squeeze in towards each other first. You come forwards to your own degree, maybe lift up a little bit more through the heart space. And then reach your hands down, take the hips back, lengthen the left hip back behind you, inhale, and as you exhale, fold forwards over your left leg. Try and keep the chest open. Maybe your gaze is to your left big toe, so you're not just kind of rounding the spine down. Now keep some length. And then inhale, come forwards. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot. And then just draw your right knee slightly forward. I'm just going to walk round to our right. Pivot the right foot underneath you so you can sit your right hip down on your foot, and then you've got, got my back, you've got like a squat in the left leg. Hands to prayer. You might press your left elbow into your left leg to help open up the hip. Like a goddess squat. A couple more breaths. You're reaching up through the crown of the head, chest open. And then release the hands down, walk it back through, so you're facing the front edge of your mat, you're back in the lunge. And then from there, tuck the right toes into the right knee. You can step back through to plank if you want to move through a vinyasa.
You can do, if you choose not to, we'll go straight to down dog. And then we'll find our way back into that side plank. So left hand to the centre of the mat, roll off the little toe side of the left foot, right arm lifts, press up through the hips, keep the feet flexed. Again, drop the left knee down if you need to. The option is there to take the peace fingers of the right hand around the right big toe. Perhaps you can straighten up that leg. And then nice and slowly, step the right foot forward between the hands, come up into your high lunge. Full awareness on the body and breath. Split your arms out to the sides, we'll twist to the right. And maybe it feels okay to drop the right hand to the left thigh, flip the left palm. Find a reverse high lunge. One more breath here. We'll come out the way we went in, arms to a T. Bring it forwards. Reach the arms back up. And then as you exhale, if you need to drop your hands down for support, do. Gently lower your left knee down onto your mat. Bring the hands down. Squeeze in the inner thighs. Bring the hips forwards. Couple of breaths here. Work is going on in the hips. The upper body is nice and relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed, face is relaxed. One more breath. And then release the hands to frame your right foot. Take your hips back. Lengthen the spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, fold forwards over your right leg. So you're pretty much trying to keep your left hip over your knee. The right hip lengthens back out behind you. Spine is nice and long, chest is open, shoulders are relaxed. Take one more breath. And then inhale to come up. Right hand to the inside of the right foot. I'm going to come forwards a bit, and I need to draw my left knee forwards a little bit so it's more underneath my hip. Swing the left heel underneath the left hip so you can sit down on it. And your right foot to your right leg is in that half squat. Soften the shoulders. You might close the eyes. Inner awareness. Maybe take a moment to notice your energy. How does it feel now? Has it changed? Notice the quality. And then release your hands. So pivot back to face the front edge of your mat. Hands down to frame your right foot. We'll step back through to plank pose. And we'll put in a couple of push-ups again. Exhale down to chaturanga. Inhale back up. Exhale chaturanga. Inhale back up. And then hips up and back. Down facing down. So just take one more breath here. And then use your next inhale. We're going to come forwards through to our pigeon pose. If you find pigeon problematic, feel free to take your eye off the needle that we took at the start of the class. If you're okay with pigeon, right leg forwards, left leg lengthens out behind you. Square off the hips here as much as you can, lift up through the heart, and then as you exhale, fold it forwards. Thinking about the left hip drawing down towards the mat rather than kind of rolling over to the right. If you need support underneath your right hip, use a cushion, a blanket or a block. Always coming back to the breath. Take one more. Use your inhale, come back up onto your hands. We're going to take this into a twist. So just walking your hands around to your left hand side, and maybe that's where you stay. Try and keep the hips in the same position so you're not rolling over to the right. If you're able to, you might come down onto your right forearm and perhaps stay there, shoulders soft. Perhaps you can come down onto your right shoulder and work there. Couple of breaths. Again, you don't have to look up, you could look down, you could look forwards. Just don't let the head collapse down. Chin in neutral. One more breath. And then we'll release the hands. You can take a vinyasa, you can go straight to down dog, perhaps a one-legged vinyasa. When you're ready, we'll do the other side. So inhale, left leg forwards. Left knee behind your left wrist. Lengthening out the right leg behind you. Just squaring everything off as much as you can. And then as you exhale, folding forwards. Slowing down the rate of your breath. Mindful and present. Okay, one more breath. And then inhale, come back up onto your hands. We'll twist to the right. So hands around to the right hand side. Keep the spine nice and long, and you can stay there. And maybe you're coming down onto your left forearm, perhaps your left shoulder. So you can keep the right hip drawing down towards your mat. Take one more breath. And then inhale, plant the hands. We're going to step it back. Either down dog, perhaps a one-legged vinyasa. And over into your downward facing dog. And then soften your knees. As you inhale, step, jump, float the feet forward between the hands. Halfway lift there. Exhale, fold in, head to legs. And then inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. So there is the option to call it a day with a practice day. Lie yourself down and find your way into Shavasana. If you'd like a little bit of a play here at the end of your practice, I'm just going to play it with an arm balance. So this is Ekapada Galavasana. So hands to the heart centre. You're going to soften the left knee, bring the right foot up onto the left thigh. So you're back into the eye of the needle, kind of pigeon leg. And then we're going to start to bend the left knee. Now you can choose to hang here and maybe just take a few breaths. Or you can come down further, take your hands to the floor. So you're going to bend the elbows a little bit and bring your lower right leg onto the upper arms. And you want to curl your right foot around the upper left arm. So you're thinking strong arms, weight tips forwards, maybe you can just lift the left foot away from the mat. So if you're frightened of falling, you can always put
You can either not do it, or you can always put something underneath you nice and soft for if you did tip the weight forwards. But just work nice and slowly. So you're not throwing yourself into this, it's done really mindfully. You might just work here and just gently think about lifting the foot. Okay, and then when you're ready, bring yourself back through to upright. So you might just want to release out the arms a little bit, maybe shake out the hands, and then come through to the other side. So this is just, and I just kind of need to reiterate this really, this is play. The yoga is what you're doing, you're focusing on the mind. Yoga, focusing on the breath, on the body, focusing internally. Yoga can be done just seated. This is kind of, it's fun to play with, but it is gymnastics and it's absolutely not necessary to your yoga journey at all. You want to leave this out, kudos, take your Shavasana. If you're coming through to the other side, left foot, right thigh. Take a moment, find your balance, and then start to bend to the right knee. And there is the option to hang out there, or you can take it further down, hands to the floor. Lower left leg on the upper arms, wrap the left foot around your upper right arm, and maybe just start to float your right foot away from the mat. Take the right foot back down. As you inhale, bring yourself back up through to standing, both feet on the mat. And then just heel toe your feet hip width apart, hook onto your opposite elbow, soften your knees, and find your way into a forward fold. You might just have a little rock from side to side. Shake the head. And just release your arms. And then nice and slowly, bend your knees. Just bring yourself down onto your mat. And allow yourself down all the way. Find your way into your relaxation. Relax your shoulders. You might want to move them a little bit so you get a real sense that you can drop the shoulders down. Relax all the muscles of your face. Your legs and your arms feel heavy against the support of the earth. For the time that you're here, see if you can just release the weight that you carry. Any burden you feel you have on your shoulders, can you put it to one side? And just staying here for as long as you need to. Perhaps in silence, perhaps you've got some nice music playing. Allowing your body as much time as it needs to rest and recoup. And I'll see you next time. Namaste.